Hi and welcome back to the latest video in the mission building series, and today's topic is going to cover the embarkation and disembarkation to an AI helicopter of ground troops. So let me show you how I set all that up. In the first instance, I started a helicopter here, a UH-1, set to high skill level and set it to take off from ground, hot. I then gave it multiple waypoints, 1, 2 and 3. And I also placed troops here as well. And what I did was I gave them 3 more waypoints, 1, 2 and 3 here. And the third waypoint ends up at the back of an infantry fighting vehicle here. And I'll get those troops to act as if they're embarking that vehicle once they arrive there. So, how did I set all this up? How do we get the troops on board in the first place? Let's concentrate on the Helo first. So I'll click on the first waypoint. What I wanted to do was I wanted the helicopter to land at this waypoint and embark these troops that will be waiting here for it. So I gave this waypoint, waypoint 1, the embarking command. So let's double click on there and I'll show you that. Just move that out of the way. And what I did was I went to perform task in the drop down and selected embarking. I then checked this box for duration and set it to 30 seconds. Then what I did was I left distribution completely alone. I then went into this drop down box and selected the new vehicle group because that is those troops there. Then what I did was I clicked this add box, which added new vehicle group to this bottom box here. And that's the embarking of the troops setup. So let's go to waypoint 1 for the troops because we want them to get on the helicopter. As you can see, it says here embark to transport. Basically what I did was, let's click on it. Again, down in perform task, I selected embark to transport. Then in the vehicle group here in the drop down list, I selected the UH-1H, which is the only helicopter in this mission. I left this unchecked, binding to transport, and left this blank, and kept the radius, the zone radius, at 656. So basically what will happen now is, this helicopter will fly to waypoint 1, those troops will make their way to waypoint 1. When the helicopter lands here at waypoint 1, these troops will get on board the helicopter. Now, the helicopter will fly from waypoint 1 to waypoint 2, where it will disembark the troops. So, I gave it a disembarking command at waypoint 2 for the helicopter. Don't have to do anything for the troops at all. So how I set that up was to go to Add, and in the drop down list, perform task and then select disembarking. Again, I set the duration to 30 seconds here, ticking this checkbox. I then checked this box here, which was distribution, and set that to pilot 1. Pilot 1 is the unit name of the helicopter. So I selected it from the drop down list, pilot 1. I then went to this drop down box here and selected new vehicle group. And after I'd selected that, I clicked on Add here, and new vehicle group appeared in this box. So basically what will happen is the helicopter will land here, the troops will disembark, and then the troops will proceed to waypoint 2 and waypoint 3. Now when the troops get to waypoint 3, I wanted them to pretend to embark this M113 infantry fighting vehicle, and I'll show you how I set that up next. Right, let's get these troops on board this infantry fighting vehicle, and how I did that was basically go to the triggers and actions and set up a couple of triggers to get the troops to disappear and then activate the waiting vehicle to drive off So the first step was to create a zone like this and set its size to around about 20, and it created a new trigger zone. Now, deleting that one, I then called that trigger zone Embark IFV. Give it a radius of 20, and we're sorted. Basically, what that does is once all those troops get into that trigger point, it will trigger some actions that I've already set up. Now bear in mind that the starting point for the M113 is a hold starting point, which is here. So I clicked on Perform Task, I clicked on Hold, and then the stop condition for that hold was ticked as user flag equals 2. So basically, when the user flag in the triggers is set to 2, that vehicle will start moving. I want it to wait for those troops, hence the reason why I gave it a hold command. Now let's go to those triggers and let's see how that was set up. The first trigger is a flag 1 trigger. And what I said was, once the infantry group gets into this zone, the Embark IFV, I wanted flag 1 to turn on. This is how I did it. I said part of group in zone from the drop down list. I then told it which group in the zone, and then I told it which zone. So the new vehicle group is the troops, and the zone is Embark IFV, which is here. So when the troops enter this zone, flag 1 will get turned on. The second trigger, I called it Embark IFV, a once only action with no event. And then I said, after flag 1 has been triggered, exactly 13 seconds afterwards, I want the troops to be deactivated and flag 2 to be turned on. Flag 2 removes the hold command on that vehicle and will allow it to drive off. Deactivating the group gets rid of the infantry and makes it appear as if they've got on board the IFV. So what I did was, time since flag 1, 13 seconds, deactivate the troops and turn flag 2 on. And it's basically that simple. What I'll do now is I'll go into the mission and we'll show you how all of that worked.